Severe weather threat ramps up through much of tomorrow. We're going to talk about that here. It's getting relatively concerning as we're looking at the forecast model. Severe weather threat also through much of today. We'll get to that in just a moment. And heat index values will get relatively hot. We're also taking a look at that for the latest here. Let's go ahead here and jump on to the latest severe weather outlook through much of today. And then we'll look at tomorrow with the latest super concerning severe weather setup. Looking at today's severe weather outlook, we can see out of all a marginal risk, which is a level 1 out of 5, currently remains through much of our East Tennessee mountains into our western North Carolina mountains. Portions of the North Carolina Piedmont there included as well. Let's go ahead here and look at the latest threats associated with this storm. The main threat associated with this includes winds of 55 to 65 miles per hour with any thunderstorm that does develop. And I'm not going to rule out a possibility with hail of penny, even possibly making quarter size. But the main threats are these winds, damaging winds, remaining possible with any thunderstorm that does develop. So again, you want to make sure through much of today you have ways to receive weather warnings throughout the next couple of days. Now here's the most concerning severe weather threat we're seeing out of all. Tomorrow's severe weather threat is a level 2 out of 5 through much the entirety of the western North Carolina mountains, East Tennessee region, North Carolina Piedmont, and an upstate portion of South Carolina. That's a level 2 out of 5. Upstate South Carolina towards the central portion is a level 1 out of 5 for severe weather. So relatively concerning through much of tomorrow. Main threats includes winds of 55 to 65, even upwards of 70 miles per hour remaining possible. So again, you want to make sure you have ways to receive weather watches and warnings throughout much of tomorrow. And stay tuned to Highland Weather's 24/7 monitoring system because it'll be live non-stop warning you about the latest weather watches and warnings. You do not want to miss it. Let's go ahead here and look at the forecast models associated with the threat for severe weather, and let's do an in-depth look for that as well so I can let you guys know the timing, the possibility as it's going to change, and then we'll also take a look at the latest heat index values because a massive heat wave is building. Let's start off with the latest GFS model here. We can see some shower and thunderstorm activity popping up through portions of Tennessee into Kentucky there as well, so getting relatively concerning. But as we continue to scroll our way through, you can see out of all, once it reaches much of the Tennessee Valley outside of the coverage region, it really starts to dissipate. Western North Carolina mountains is not really expected to get anything out of that storm specifically, but as we continue to scroll through, we start to see some more shower and thunderstorm activity pushing its way through along with this low pressure system from portions of Ohio for that matter into Virginia. So some areas through Tuesday and Wednesday could get some shower and thunderstorm activity. So again, that's when the main threat for some shower and thunderstorm activity remains. So as we continue to push our way through, we can see remaining relatively dry throughout the next couple of days. We're all the way to Saturday. This is August 1st. Then we start to see the increase of shower and thunderstorm activity through much of Sunday, a week from yesterday for that matter. Western North Carolina mountains, portions of East Tennessee included there as well. Upstate South Carolina getting moderate to very heavy rainfall. So rain will be on the increased side all the way through much of Monday, August 3rd. We can see rain will start to become more widespread. Most likely tropical moisture associated from the Gulf will push its way up through the western North Carolina mountains. So again, small flooding threat remaining possible. And then you can see a low pressure system will push its way through. That's the main driver actually of that moderate to very heavy rainfall, which will continue through much of Tuesday. Then it will dry out towards much of afternoon and evening hours towards Wednesday. Another low pressure system pushes its way through. Then by Friday, August 7th, another low pressure pushes its way through the western North Carolina mountains, getting some moderate to very heavy rainfall possibly. But again, it's going to remain relatively dry throughout the next couple of days. So we'll let this load here. So again, more shower and thunderstorm activity remaining possible through much of the western North Carolina mountains, upstate South Carolina as well. So again, getting relatively concerning there for some shower and thunderstorm activity. Then by Sunday, August 9th, we can see some shower and thunderstorms start to push its way through moderate to very heavy rainfall at times through much of East Tennessee. So again, really want to watch out for that. And again, more heavy rainfall appearing to be possible through much of the western North Carolina mountains there as well through much of August 10th on Monday. But again, more rainfall appearing to be possible towards Tuesday. So again, rounds and rounds of heavy rainfall appearing to be possible towards the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. There's a low pressure system, so that's also the main driver with this tropical moisture. It's going to be pushing its way through. So again, getting relatively concerning there as well. So let's go ahead here and take a look at the other forecast model and talk about at least where that threat for severe weather continues through much of tomorrow. Now let's look at the latest forecast model here, starting off through portions of Monday morning when you're watching this update here. Dry conditions will continue today. Then we start to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms push its way through much of the afternoon and evening hours through much of East Tennessee and western North Carolina mountains. I'm not really expecting much in the way of severe weather through much of today. So again, it's a positive news with this. Let's go ahead here and look and scroll through here. We see a greater threat for severe weather through portions of our western West Virginia counties for that matter, which is not in the viewing area, I should mention. But again, it's going to remain relatively dry through portions of Tuesday there as well. Then we start to see, did you notice that? This is when the main driver for severe weather appears to be possible, as that low pressure system moves through Maryland up there. That's going to bring that shower and thunderstorm activity all the way down here. So again, this is along the time frame here of. So this is much of 2 p.m. on Wednesday. We can see shower and thunderstorms will start to push its way through from Virginia into our western North Carolina counties there. And it becomes more widespread during the evening and overnight hours. So again, that's the main threat for time frame for severe weather will be around the 2 p.m. hour. So 2 p.m. through much of the overnight hours is the main window that I'll put for the severe weather threat. So again, definitely want to watch out and keep your eye to the sky if you're doing any outdoor activities. Then we start to see during the overnight hours towards portions of Wednesday, the storms will start to dissipate. So again, it's not going to be an overnight threat. The main threat that we're seeing out of all currently right now is just much of the afternoon into the evening hours through much of Tuesday. Then it should dissipate. So again, not everyone will see the threat for severe weather threat. See these shower and thunderstorm activity. But just want to make sure, just want to stay aware and stay tuned to the Howland Weather Monitoring System as it keeps you updated on the latest. As we continue to push through, we can see out of all through much of Wednesday and the Thursday remaining relatively dry. We continue as well. Dry conditions continuing all the way through Saturday according to this forecast model. Then towards much of the Saturday afternoon hour towards 2 p.m. Saturday, August 1st. We can see out of all more shower and thunderstorm will start to push its way through much of Tennessee into our western North Carolina counties there. Then we start to see, look at that, towards Sunday, more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity like the GFS model was saying previously. So again, western North Carolina mountains, upstate South Carolina, East Tennessee, and North Carolina Piedmont getting relatively moderate to very heavy rainfall. But by Monday, the shower and thunderstorm activity should push its way out. So again, it's going to be remaining dry. Then we start to see the more increased side towards the afternoon and evening hours on Monday. Greater threat for severe weather before it finally starts to dry out. High pressure system moves in through much of Tuesday, August 4th here, and then increasing that threat for some shower and thunderstorm activity yet again. Then it continues to stay over the area. Look at that. So this is towards Tuesday as it pushes its way through. Wednesday, it's still there, the high pressure system continuing. Then we see some shower and thunderstorm. You could see out of all, thanks to that high pressure system, a lot of the shower and thunderstorm activity from Wednesday through much of Thursday, or Tuesday through much of Thursday of next week. A lot of the high pressure system will help push away those shower and thunderstorm activity chances. So again, it's a little ways out to say how hot the temperatures will be, because it could be relatively hot. But we're going to start to be talking about drought conditions continuing to worsen. So again, that's the latest forecast model here. Let's go ahead, continue to scroll our way through. Then we start to see, look at that, through much of Friday, it's still pushing its way through. Then we start to see towards Friday afternoon, Friday evening of August 7th, it pushes north outside of the viewing area here. So again, more shower and thunderstorm activity will finally start to pop up through Friday, relieving any threat. But then, guess who's back? Back again. High pressure's back. Don't tell a friend. Really don't tell a friend, because the drought will start to really worsen there, and that would not really be the fun activity. I would probably say I would not really want a drought, and I don't think you guys would either. But again, that high pressure system will push away much of the shower and thunderstorm activity that we need. But again, look at that. And then maybe some shower and thunderstorm activity will push its way through Saturday, August 8th. That is a possibility, but that high pressure system continues to stay over this area. By Sunday afternoon, we should finally see it dissipate out through much of the Atlantic Ocean. So then, this is like couple days of just non-stop high pressure system remaining over the western North Carolina mountains. And did you see, as soon as it pushed this way through, guess who's back now? Moderate to very heavy rainfall, which we really want, which we really need. And by that time, at least, we don't need it right now after all that rain last weekend. But again, shower and thunderstorm activity will start to increase there a little bit more. And then it's back again. Not good at all whatsoever. We'll still continue to push the shower and thunderstorm activity away all the way through August 10th. Now let's go ahead here and talk about the latest here. Let's talk about the latest heat index values, high and low temperatures, and how hot it's supposed to get. Before we get to the latest heat index values, I do want to mention, looking at the tropical weather outlook during the next 7 days, we're not really expecting to see anything at all whatsoever. So again, birth tide did dissipate through much of Texas. I do want to sincerely apologize. The forecast models were completely incorrect on that track, made its way into Texas instead of the Atlantic Ocean. So again, I really do sincerely apologize about that. Heat index values will get relatively hot. We're talking about temperatures in the 90s in the western North Carolina mountains, upper 90s there towards the upstate and central portion of South Carolina, 98 in Greenwood, Spartanburg, 100 in Greenwood, 101 in Columbia, 97 in Knoxville, 91 in Gatlinburg, 101 in Decoa, and 103 in Athens. So again, hot temperatures will continue to push its way through, becoming more hotter as we get into Tuesday. Let's talk about the latest high and low temperatures forecasted. Temperatures will be on the hotter side through the entirety of the viewing area. 88 in Asheville, 92 in Greenwood, Spartanburg, Columbia at 93 degrees, 88 in Gatlinburg, 94 in Decoa, and 95 in Athens. Also, remember to get the latest update on our YouTube short or Instagram reel, or Facebook reel for that matter, to get the latest short version of this update here as well. Let's look at tonight's minimum temperatures. Looking at tonight's minimum temperatures here, will remain relatively cooler through much of the western North Carolina mountains. Positive news for that. 65 in Asheville, 72 in Greenwood, Spartanburg, Columbia at 73 degrees, 70 in Gatlinburg, 73 in Decoa, and 74 in Athens. So again, positive part is cooler temperatures will remain through much of the western North Carolina mountains there. But let's look at Tuesday. Let's look at Tuesday and how hot it is supposed to get. Whoa, this heat is going to get hot. I mean, look at these temperatures here. Talking about 90 in Asheville, 95 in Greenwood, Spartanburg, Columbia at 97, 89 in Gatlinburg, 91 in Knoxville, 96 in Decoa, and 97 in Athens. It's going to get hot. I got to say, it's going to get relatively hot. We were used to those temperatures in the 70s through the last couple of days thanks to that low pressure system pushing its way through. But we're talking about a massive heat wave. Not really a heat wave, but something similar to that. Getting relatively hot. I'm not really fond of the heat once it reaches about 85 degrees. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys, what's the hottest temperature that you guys have seen? Is this really the hottest? I mean, is this the temperature you guys like? Or what temperature do you guys like? For the cooler temperatures? What is your coolest temperature that you would want to be outside doing stuff? So again, hot temperatures will continue. I'm not really looking forward to this through much of Tuesday. It doesn't help any. I'm going out west to hotter temperatures. But again, getting relatively hot through much of tomorrow. And really not to mention the severe weather threat through much of tomorrow with those hot temperatures. It will increase the storm stability. It will make the severe weather threat get relatively stronger as well. So not really something you want to see as a severe weather threat is continuing. So again, I'm back at Web here. Thank you so much here for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys watching here in-depth videos. Share it to a friend. Let them know we have a severe weather threat tomorrow. Send the YouTube short, send a 24/7 live stream, or send this update here. Anything you want to do, just let them know that there's a threat for severe weather through much of the western North Carolina mountains, so they're aware about that major threat. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, which you can see. Where am I? Is it going to do it here? Yeah. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell if you're on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook if you just came across our page. Make sure you turn on that notification there as well. Follow us on Instagram as well. I really appreciate it. And also make sure you check the 24/7 monitoring system, which is live nonstop on YouTube, also with an automated system. So times we can't be live, it's going to be there as well. Also, the positive news here, I got to meet forecaster tropical weather specialist Connor from the team last weekend. So again, some positive news with that. We got a whole team crew together. It was relatively fun. We stopped at a Cracker Barrel through much of upstate, through South Carolina, and talked about the future of Howlin' Weather. We have a few plans, so you definitely want to make sure for that. Now, again, make sure you click that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and hopefully you have a great day. I'll be back again tomorrow, I promise. I'll be back tomorrow to talk about the latest severe weather threat through much of Tuesday. I'll also be back on Wednesday with a video, but Wednesday afternoon with a short. I don't know yet. I'll be traveling during that time. But again, you won't see me on these in-depth videos throughout the next couple of days. So you won't see me after Thursday. You won't see me on Thursday all the way until at least that weekend. Not the incoming weekend, but the weekend afterwards. So again, these in-depth videos will stop yet again. But we'll continue those YouTube shorts and Instagram reels. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your Monday. And I'll be back with another in-depth video tomorrow. And also, check out the latest YouTube short that's actually going to be coming out by 10 a.m. this morning. So again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.